Armin core, were to suddenly appear, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
there's power in the name. And
Of
so
course,
it's the
yeah.
type of organization that you're kind of expecting to get good results, and crew are already doing well this season, so that makes me excited. I think of an org like TSM, who their initial foray, last year was like not great, and they'd started to pick things up a little bit, but again, that's an org that you're expecting to do well, so that's kind of where I'm at with crew. But here we go, we're going to jump into our first best of one. Sorry for the delay, folks, a couple of technical issues, but here we are. Anubis, Yawara versus the Red Canids, and let's see which team is going to take our very first best of one in this series.
Yeah, both teams have already played Anubis and lost, and quite dominantly. But I think Red Canids just individually should be better. But right now, Revolts with the dual Berettas close towards the pillar. He's just dancing around and they can't get rid of him. Finally, Nizen is able to drop him, but Red Canids, they'll get the bomb down in a man disadvantage situation.
Alright, 3 versus 3 here, and again, ducking and diving around this pillar. Bomb already been planted, so now 2 players left to try to defuse, and damn, beautiful crossfire held there. The last 2 players just did not have an entry. Great execute there from the Red Canids, netting themselves that first round. And I mean, it was pretty clinical, right? They take a little bit of damage early on by the player around pillar, but they very quickly gain control of that site. Rotations have to come in from Yawara, and by the time they know what's before they even realize what's hit them, a round's basically over.
Yeah, those dual brothers by Yakinda definitely scared me. Like those, that was terrifying. Venom Zero though already getting on the board. You can see that he's picking up a big dub at the end. That's a big name, I think, for Red Canids. You kind of join that up with the aggression of Phelps and the firepower. Like for me, Red Canids, when I look at this roster, I'm like, sweet Jesus, is there a lot of firepower. Like Henny can take over the round with an AWP. Cold Zero, it's going to be weird with him IGLing, because obviously we know him as, was it 3 years in a row, 2 years in a row he was best player. He's major MVP, he's won 2 majors. Phelps did a lot of that with him, minor the majors. And like their firepower is off the charts. So I think with Knifin not being on the team anymore, it is going to be interesting with a change of IGL. And I think when you then look at a change of IGL, it's very clear the ideology and philosophy might be very different. But you've cut so much dead weight with the firepower, and they'd already done that with bringing in Henny and taking Knifin off the AWP.
Yeah. I think one of the big things that always stands out to me in these matchups between a veteran team and maybe not a new team,
17-year-olds and people, it's their first ever HLTV tournament.
For sure, right? But it comes to that kind of map awareness and understanding, and like knowing all of the small things that other players might not know as well, or maybe they've seen it once or twice but they haven't had the time to really get used to and start to learn how to abuse. It's those small things that I find that your more accomplished teams get a far better hold on. But already this round started to look a little bit crazy. 2 MP9 kills, and then we follow it up with an HE in return, down to 3 versus 3. And I mean, the MP9s are doing what they were meant to do coming into this round. They're getting a bit of cash. They can get another kill. Yeah, I'd call this a successful round. Maybe not for round 3, but...
Well, it's a Furia buy. The whole point is to get damage, get money with MP9, do something a little bit fast, which they try to do towards middle, because they're going to have a full purchase in the next round regardless now with 2900 loss bonus and those MP9 kills. Telly D, 12 extra grand, happy days, but how much more damage can we do now? And Red Canids, I really like how they cut all the noise, but Cold Zero loses the Angel on Zhao. He's able to drop one and fall back and now join up with Nard. Stacks rather, is also coming from A main. And if these players towards Heaven and CT are able to perform, this is going to bait in Stacks. That's exactly what's going to happen. Nizen up for the 1 versus 2 ace, and he's been wrapped around from every single angle, and it's perfect from Yawara. Their low investment, their Fury investment not only gets so much cash, but also the round win.
I mean, yeah, that's honestly best case scenario that you probably weren't even expecting to go that way. And it starts off with like some crazy aggression out of mid as well. That's instantly punished, and they're still somehow able to, you know, maintain that control. They had a player advantage, and yes, the HE comes out and it evens it out. And you're like, oh man, how the MP9 is gonna do? And then Red Canids go for this A push that keeps everything in relatively close quarters. And when you do that, I mean, an MP9, okay, we've seen some really cheeky stuff happen on range with an MP9, but when you get up close and personal, things start to get a little bit more scary, and it's exactly what happens there. Great retake, 2 versus 1 in that final situation. And now Red Canids on a bit of a difficult spend into this. Still all right on guns, but obviously a little bit lackluster in the utility. So we're going to have to make that work for them as best they can.
Yeah, that was a pretty shocking round to lose, just getting isolated by the MP9s. Double pump towards the B-bomb site. coldzera is able to capitalize on a kill in connector, and now revolts. Oh no, we've missed a smoke. We've missed a smoke, and because of that, it's not only blocked off connector, but it's allowed revolts to pick up 2. He's going to be hunted down. Venomzera finally does clutch up the kill, and somehow, even though we've missed smokes, we're in a 3v3. As I say that though, headshots galore, Venomzera running out of bullets, and it's Henny again up for a clutch situation. Nizen, he failed the 1v2 in the previous, but Henny's able to get the bomb down and reposition as both Yawara players join up towards Temple.
Second player was unexpected, but you've always got to expect the second player, the reswing. Now do you expect both players to be pushing out at the same time? Spots the first. He's got to know. He's got to know. He's right behind the pillar there. He's ducking and diving, trying to get these pot shots out. They're pushing him, running him over, and he just cannot hold the line. It's a second round to come through for Yawara.
Yeah, the issue there as well is it doesn't even matter time-wise. Like, they had a kit, so he had to simply just get both the kills. He does a lot of damage to both of them. He gets a dink on Zhao, 50 HP off Nards. But yeah, it's not good enough. And for Red Canids, they get the bomb down, and then out of nowhere, you're in a 1v2. And we're like, how are we allowing these kills to come through? How are we allowing revolts to get a double from Dark? How are we allowing for smokes to be missed? Like, that shouldn't be a thing for a team like Red Canids caliber.
Small mistakes, and we've seen that they can be the detriment to even the best teams in the world. Now we've got some pistols to come through. A few deagles though, and we know how much of a punch that can pack. It's not even the deagle that kicks it off. It's gonna be my favorite gun, the Tech 9. That's a free upgrade here for Phelps. And then we chill. And then we wait. And we see if Yawara get a little bit overconfident. But for now, it looks like they're just gonna hold the line. They know that they've lost sight and info to a large extent in mid, so they're going to have to send a little bit of reinforcements. They're going to have to, you know, be a bit more careful with this A as well. So you've got Zhao having to play a bit more of a pivot here, trying to control a bit of mid, a bit of A main. And this has definitely made things a lot tougher for our CTs.
Yeah, buying an AWP in this round is bold. Flashing yourself through doors is equally as bold. And this round should be over. Telly D's already been tagged. That is a good smoke towards B main. And we do have at least an extra Molotov, but with no mid control, that's going to mean no mid rotation. So Yawara, when they do rotate, there's a very high chance it's going to have to be through CT. And that would then mean Telly D and Revolts have to hold down, I mean, probably get 3 kills, right? And Red Canids have played this really nicely. They've just frozen. That B main smoke comes in, and they just sit behind it. Now with 20 seconds, they start to accelerate. Revolt's left behind on default, and Venomzera hasn't let go of plus W, and it's an easy round for Red Canids on, of all rounds, one when no one has armor. But that could still come up for debate as the retake. Is it possible? With the AWP, I would suggest otherwise.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a save angle. And like, so you see the jiggle there with the Molotov in hand, waiting to spot someone else so you can throw that up. The problem is, on a pistol round, the chances of you actually stopping them from pushing are a lot lower, because on a pistol round you have to be more aggressive, you have to get a bit more up close and personal. So as soon as that first player is spotted, the second is right behind him, the Molotov comes through, and I think it maybe stopped one player or it didn't stop anyone. I can't remember exactly, but two players
Stopped
had already
one, but
pushed
the
through.
Tech-9
There
was
you go.
already there.
Exactly. So they'd already pushed through, they'd already taken that space. Plus, you've also got the push coming in from main as well. So there's this great pincer happening, and you almost stand no chance at that point. So it's almost like a misunderstanding of the fundamentals of what happens on a pistol round and how you need to deal with that.
This is explosive towards middle. coldzera is able to trade out effectively, and Nards, you know what, fair play. That was a massive double from him on the AWP. But ultimately, he gets run down, and this 3 versus 3 heavily favors the T side, because you've got all of mid control, and if you just look at the defense, they're very sporadic. You've got Revolt over towards CT, deep CT. You've got Zhao, who's actually got a main control, and Telly D's got Canids control. But that's something you're kind of forced to do if you're solo on the bomb site. So for Red Canids, all they got to do right now is just join up and hit a bomb site together, and they'll probably be more than fine.
Oh. What's
That's
interesting to me,
massive
like,
kill.
both teams have been kind of meh about mid control for a lot of these rounds. I mean, Yawara's generally had one player towards mid who often gets caught out, but there hasn't been much of like a hot contestation. This is the first time that we see two players from each team just running into one another and just annihilating each other. And well, thankfully for the Red Canids, they still had one extra player there, coldzera, able to pick up that AWP and to then get an extra kill. And for Yawara, like, what on earth do you do at this point? The FAMAS is going to try to hold the line, but really can't get anything done there. And for Zhao, again, you know, there's really nothing to be done in this round.
Yeah, it's just that 3 versus 3, as I was saying. Like, you look how sporadic they are. Red Canids just don't overcomplicate. Go to a bomb site, easy peasy. I mean, squeezy. And Yawara, this was like a magical start to a CT side on Anubis. You win your first gun round while not even investing that much. You have heaps of money, and then you lose the pistol round when it seemed like you were going to be taking the lead, which on CT side Anubis is everything. And for Red Canids, tables turn. Now they're in the prime zone where they'll be looking to get 5 against what would be a full eco surrounded by this AK. So for them, Red Canids, they're starting to build. They've broken away the early game now.
If Yawara could get 2 or 3 more rounds, I think they'd be feeling a lot more comfortable going into the second half. But obviously, you know, the opportunities for that are slowly ticking away. We're a quarter of the way through this map, halfway through the first half. A little bit of wiggle room, but as you said, right, this is going to be that eco. They're likely going to lose this round. Next round, they should be able to buy in, but there aren't going to be a ton of opportunities. And already, the pins are starting to fall, and they're falling in favor of the Red Canids, of course.
Yeah, the only worry of this round is Zhao.
Mm.
And everyone around him's dying, and, well, he's going to die. So that means we ain't got no worry. And 4 players stay alive, 3 in the previous. Economy's pretty good. Rare Canids, they win this gun round, and it's like the breakaway and the sprint. They've excelled ahead, and this is how I'd anticipate this map to go, this game to go. But obviously with Red Canids, it was just a weird start of the season. With some of those games. Wouldn't have expected them to lose against the likes of Elevate and Uno Melee.
I think Yawara did well in the 3rd and 4th round to kind of put Red Canids at a lot of balance and maybe do something that they weren't necessarily expecting, to manage to post up those first 2 rounds for themselves, or the only 2 rounds for themselves. But since then, you know, the Red Canids, they've had guns, they've put themselves into prime position, and then really not showing too many chinks in the armor at the oh dear. Was that just mass disconnect?
What's just happened? 4 players just DC'd? Okay, we're restarting.
Yeah. We did hear a little earlier that the CS2 servers were having some issues. So
oh no.
Yes, sir.
Was there just an update? Oh no. Oh,
what a time.
No.
What a time for it as well.
No, well, so that would have been a DC just off. I don't even know. Like 4 players DC from different teams. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be an update tonight because of the premiere stuff.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
finally getting our new season.
Hopefully that doesn't come in now. That would be what we call a travesty in the business.
That would be rough. It reminds me of a few seasons back when we were doing ESL Impact, and funny story. This was the day that CS2 launched, and we were in the middle of a game, and we had to wait for like an hour and a half or something stupid for the new servers to come online so we could finish the match. It was good. It's a good time.
It was good. It was good fun. I remember when that happened, it was because there was like no port back to CSGO, right? Like you literally just couldn't. It was just like unlucky. Yeah, unlucky. Yeah, that was I mean, I remember I was casting a South American a game one time. I actually couldn't even remember vaguely when this was, but the like internet in the city went down.
Oh,
one time.
Yes.
So that was yeah, that was fun. There was also boot camps where both teams were in the boot camp and the internet went down there, or the power or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in South America you do just get a lot more issues when it comes to maybe like this type of stuff. Oh my god, we're live. That was very fast.
Hell yeah. You know, as a South African, I can empathize.
You can relate.
Been there. It's funny because you know how I wasn't able to work on Monday because I got sick. My internet also went down that day. So
hey,
the stars aligned.
The stars aligned. If the internet was going to go down, at least it was when you were ill.
Exactly.
Okay, this is still the same round, still the same big round. Henny, wow, how does he not get that kill? Player's just peeking into his crosshair towards connector. He is unable to find the frag. But it's just slow and steady where Red Canids, they are waiting to go towards A here. They are 4 players behind that smoke, and they're going to use Phelps as a lurk.
Yawara could be ready for it. Zhao taking a more advanced position here. Oh, he's still burning! He's still burning! No! And he swings out and he's instantly shut down. Coldzera with 2. Cracks open the site. Bob's your uncle. Bomb still not... There you go. There you go. It's making its way in now. And Yawara's last 3 players. Surely you just save your weapons at this point. That's a rough round.
There are occasions when it's just like, what can you actually even do there?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they just pop onto A, and you have Phelps as an emergency, like what can you even do? The question is for Yawara is, are they allowed to save? If I'm Red Canids, I would certainly see if I can poke my head around to try and deny a save. And that could be Venom Zero coming CT now, and he's holding connector. You've got Phelps still already outside B main. I think we're going to try and test our hands, see if we can maybe take away a weapon, and there you go, Venom Zero gone. He will get traded, but Henny's forced to peek in towards connector, and we might not actually have anybody survive. Nards, he's being hunted, yet no one survives. That is massive result for Red Canids. A big swing round that confirms their lead while also keeping no one alive.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, even losing a player themselves means literally nothing at this point. Henny, after reinvesting very slightly, yeah, reinvest is probably too big of a word for what he had to do into that round, but he still has over 11k. Like, it's obscene. There's definitely no concern here, and you are feeling the full effects of it. Back down onto upgraded pistols. 2 deagles in there. Okay, we're just gonna straight up run out of main, mow through 3 people with pistols, and somehow they've done a hell of a lot more damage than they had any right to do. They have managed to recover the AWP as well. Nope, instantly lost it. JK. Now Zhao's the last one left alive. But, all things considered, it's a hell of a lot of good damage.
It is great damage, but the round's not over. Okay, the round's over. Yeah, that's a fantastic round from Yawara, but they're definitely going to be kind of inside being like, okay, damage is great. We are still down by 5 rounds, and we definitely could have won that. It was a really cool change of pace. Something that we haven't seen yet from Yawara is much aggression on the extremities, be it towards A, be it towards B. We saw that Furia purchase in middle once, so it's really cool for them to kind of change up that pace in that manner, and it works really well. And a tactical pause going into this round, for me, is really good timing. Really good timing to take a tactical pause. This is... Again, you just need to start getting rounds on the board if you're Aurora.
Yeah, I mean, the only 2 rounds left in this half, right? And I said that they would need to get 2 or 3 to, feel a bit more comfortable going into the next half. So let's see if they can start stringing something together. Oh, sorry, 3 rounds left. Never do maths on stream. Goodbye as well. So quite a robust little bit of utility to work with. Hopefully they can start to make a bit more of a stand. Yeah, they've left A open. Now, that is a choice. Okay, no, they were just going for like a sneaky peek. Yeah.
Well, they're kind of playing... It's the age-old setup of 3B, 2A. And when you've got 2 players on A like this, you have to make that decision of like, do we fight mid? Do we just hunker down on A? And it looks like they want to hunker down towards A, but then subsequently letting go of mid, where Phelps and Coldzera... It's a duo as old as time, are now pushing towards camera while also pressure's being applied from A main itself. Artillery striking down. It feels like there's nothing Zhao and Stacks can do, but Zhao's actually staying alive. He's being a real nuisance right now. And they're going to have to deal with him because the bomb also needs to cross.
Positioning here from Zhao is going to be really important. Plus, we've got a little bit of a push coming out from mid. This... Oh, are you going to catch someone? Maybe?
Oh,
okay.
No.
We'll even out the numbers a little bit here. Bomb's making its way back. But again, and this is what I was saying, this is where Zhao becomes so important. No, look at that. They've just pushed straight out of mid. And from the top of the bridge, they drop the bomb carrier. Bomb gets picked up, but Zhao now knows that he has to know. He doesn't know. He's not even checking for it.
He's fighting.
There we go.
Yeah, he's trying to take down Coldzera. Nizen, new kid on the block. What? We've just given him the 1v2. We've given him the 1v1. Red Canids, that was such an awkward round where they just never dealt with Zhao. But then finally, Nizen is able to clutch up a 1 versus 2 and wins out the round. Coldzera takes so much attention away and he excels from that.
Damn, what a crazy round. I really felt like... So, I think that they abandoned mid a little too early. And I hear what you're saying. You know, they go for the hunker down on A. But they kind of peep out of mid for half a second. They don't get anything because Red Candid are just playing it a little bit quieter. And then they give up mid entirely for free. And that's become a bit of a consistent issue. And it gives Red Candid an almost free... kind of pincer maneuver. Eventually they retake that space, but not before they've already lost a few players, and it makes it that much harder to maintain that control. I will say towards the end of the round they did kind of fumble a little bit there. It was a rough way for it to end. It really looked like they might have been able to steal that one away, but unfortunately not to be the case. This time around they are looking to hold into mid a little bit, but the MP9 this time not going to get that same value, and again Red Cannon will just take mid for themselves.
Okay, that got toasty, and not because Zhao died to a Molotov. Yeah, these last 2 rounds, and the last 3 rounds, even the 5-7 rounds, a lot of if, buts, and maybes of like, oh, if this happened, if that duel had gone that way. But ultimately, it should be Red Canids going up to 9 rounds. Revolts, they know where he is, and yeah, well, we're just swinging him. Henny's got a flashbang, and okay, Venom Zero decides, okay, I'm gonna stop trying to peek him, and we're just going to play more together. There's no utility for Venom Zero, so Henny can just take first contact. Venom Zero can swing off him. Doesn't even need to swing. Henny hits the headshot, and we're looking pretty nice and dandy for Red Canids. This is exactly what I expect from them.
Yeah, I mean, they've basically been in control from start to finish. Map control has really been on point as well. Wherever it is that they decide to go, they're so good at clearing out those areas and making sure that they have kind of a few options to themselves, so that even if something goes wrong, later on in the round, they generally have like a plan B that they can fall back on, which has really come out massively for them. Seems we may have another issue as players have stopped moving. So we'll see if we can get that fixed up as quickly as possible. But yeah, I mean, I think coming into this, we definitely expected that Canids were going to be the ones to, come out on top of this particular matchup. I was hoping to see a bit more out of Yawara, and of course it is still the first map, and they did start on the CT side, and they have shown some signs of life, so I'm not going to count them out just yet, but I think for this map, things are definitely not looking great for our underdogs.
No, yeah, I'd say this is what I expected. Ultimately, Red Canids, they've had these really bad results, and they've made me very concerned with a roster that is currently not doing amazing on the old Valve rankings. They're where did I check? They're 17th in the Americas, and I think top 46 in the world. That's pretty bad for a team that's of the top 67 actually in the world. There's teams in this league such as Sharks, there's teams like Fluxo that are, and Bestia, that are competing in this league that are much above them. Legacy, Brazilian, but playing in North America. There's a lot of NA teams ahead of them, alongside the South American teams that have, like MIBR, Pain, Furia, and Imperial, that have chosen to not play. But for Red Canids, this is a really important season for them. They realistically, this type of roster should be winning this whole event and should be going back to playing tier 1 events. Because also Phelps, he's gone from Imperial playing tier 1 events. He's not going to be coming to Red Canids to sit in ECL for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, funnily enough, that feels like a storyline for a lot of players and teams in ECL in a variety of different regions, right? There's always a handful of players that are ex-champions, ex-veterans who are, trying to find their way back into those top spots. So, I mean, this is the proving ground. This is the place where you get it done. Nodus is going to get it done there. Nice little opener. Full blind. Gets that first kill. Oh, great work from Stacks to follow it up. And, well, now we've got a 2-player advantage for Yawara. They take mid-control here. And for the first time in a hot minute, things start to look up for them.
It's the first time, pretty much this whole half, since those first few rounds they've got. But Cold Zero, he slipped the net. They should know about Revolts, who's over towards CT. He's distanced himself, but Cold Zero, now that's the old school Cold Zero that I'm talking about. Henny as well, alongside that, will bring the bomb safely over while also collecting a kill from middle. Nards revealed himself, and what is that? He plays in the Molotov, and he drops the bomb. Bomb can cross. They don't know about Zhao, and Cold Zero on 2 HP. They're actually joining up, and they're pushing CT. Zhao, instant headshot. Nizen now stuck in a very difficult position. He's got confirmation of the rotation and where both players are. The bomb's gonna get planted. There's no utility on either side. And he has to hold the line. Oh, he jiggles away as they come across. They've closed the gap, but he's isolated the 1v1s. And it's a massive clutch for Red Canids to put them on double digits at the end of the first half.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow.
there's no time to bait. Climb out the sheets, find the jeans from a previous date. Grab the keys from off the counter, commute into the city, gonna take another hour. Man, I hate trading time for away. At least I got a home and a job that pays. Faded from color, reaching to find where I wonder how. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
Done you good. You look like a child. Well, thank you very much, Johnson. I've been very lucky down here. Feeling better than I did up north.
Collars itching, face is switching. Another cup of Joe and I'm fine. Come 5, I can burn a fresh dime. Lifting up the burdens, putting weight on my mind. Bet if I didn't chase that and embrace distractions, master my lack of faith and break through. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste.
Well, heartbreaking into that last round, but another ridiculous clutch from Red Canids and Nizen in particular means that they end that half 10-2. And now for Yawara, yes, it is the T side, yes, it is the favored side, but they haven't managed to find much headway leading up to this point. So we kick off the second half. We'll see if they can start to turn things back around in their favor. Slipping through the smoke here. Phelps hiding in plain sight. He's gotten in behind them. He set up the crossfire. He's absolutely nasty, and it will allow them to get themselves a massive player advantage. And for Yawara, well, Dao Zhao, last player left alive. Good for one. Can't get much more done. That was cheeky.
Yeah, okay, that's the wow. Yeah, so remember those like crazy stats that Phelps got on Imperial? Yeah, so it looks like he's going to be able to do that on Yawara, and it looks like he's going to be competing with David Deas' stats that has departed Red Canids. Those pistol shots were kind of ridiculous from him and Henne. And that could be the beginning of the... Well, I feel like we're past the beginning of the end. I feel like one of the many clutches that we've had was already that.
Yeah.
Is this the end of the end? This is a full eco, by the way, as well. We've got 2 nades. They're going to nade deep. Phelps is like, glad I'm not there. And he just lined them up. AC Wacy. And no! Henny steals it! How dare you? Slap on... Well, you know, theoretically, it's better to get the MP9 kills because it's $100 more, you know, but it's better.
Well,
but
then
it's
you know
boring.
what? Then he should have gotten the 5 kills.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes as expected. Yawara didn't get a bomb plant. They didn't get anything in that previous round. Now, however, they need 10 consecutive rounds to get overtime. If they lose this round, well, GG, go next. Very limited utility behind them. They've, of course, had to force into this as much as possible. It's all going to come down to this first opener, and I say that even with getting opening kills, they sometimes do struggle.
Honestly, the choice not to buy last round, even though they didn't get a bomb down, like they're playing for 10 rounds in a row now. What's going on? Look where Cold Zero's just got that kill and where he's got it on. Stacks just ran out by himself and got basically behind default. Okay. Interesting. Not sure.
I mean, the fact that he got there, fair enough.
Yeah, well, there was a smoke. Yeah, so we just jumped through the smoke, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, we've got a minute left, and we now just used one of our penultimate smokes. We've got 2 molos. The final smoke on Nards, I would assume, if they're going to go towards A, it'd be Temple if they're going through mid, or it'd be Camera, and they try Molo Broken Walks. They've only got 1 Molo left. They've got no flashbangs. Sure, Red Cannons don't have any of the util, but it's so much more important for a T-side to have util. And I think because of their lack of util, they're actually going for a contact play into the MP9. Niacin takes 2, big chunk of damage onto the 3rd. The flashbang almost was the death of Nards, but he survives, but for how long? And Henny answers my question there. Tally D, last alive, and it looks like Anubis and the first best of one is going very heavily in favor of Red Canids.
That is indeed all she wrote. Do you know, when Yawara got those 2 rounds, round 3 and 4 in the first
looked so
half,
good.
and it really did, man. There were these signs of life